Poor dental hygiene was once considered a national security risk. When the government started drafting men for the First World War, so many of the recruits had rotting teeth that officials became significantly worried. It is no secret that during that period, the health of Americans' teeth was in steep decline. Because the nation had become wealthier, people had started buying larger amounts of sugary processed foods, which consequently was destroying their teeth. Today, Americans still massively consume processed sugar, but their teeth are no longer rotting. That is because they started to brush them. But how did they develop this habit? You might say, well, of course, they noticed their teeth were rotting, so they started to care about their oral hygiene. It makes sense because the little effort exerted yields such an enormous health benefit, right? Well, unfortunately, that is not how people work. There are dozens of daily rituals from which people could enormously benefit that never become habits. These include drinking more water, exercising, eating vegetables, practicing your social skills, or applying sunscreen. Very simple behaviors, minimal commitment, massive benefits, but for the most part, they never become habits. So if the benefits of positive behaviors aren't enough to turn them into habits, what is so special about brushing your teeth that made that behavior stick? To answer that question, we need to understand how a habit is formed. Let's look at an example. Let's say that you want to improve your diet. A great place to start is by having a smoothie first thing in the morning. This is a great habit for a few reasons. First of all, they are fast and simple to make. Second, smoothies are very nutritious and easily digestible, leaving you feeling light and energized. Finally, by nurturing your body with healthy calories in the morning, you are less likely to crave sugar throughout the day. At the end of this animation, I'll share my favorite morning smoothie recipe that I've been using for over 6 years. Now, given all the benefits, let's say you are determined to adopt this habit. The first time you'll make the smoothie, you might have to get your blender from the cupboard, you will have to look for a measuring cup, you'll have to pay close attention to the recipe, your water ratio might be off. The point is that when you form a new habit, your brain is working at its full capacity because it is the first time that you go through the steps. The next morning, however, your blender will be right next to the sink with the protein powder and your measuring cups, and you will already know the ingredients. By the end of the first week, your behavior will be so automatic that it will take you less than 2 minutes to make the same smoothie with your eyes closed. But there's more to it. Habits are formed around cues and rewards. When you wake up in the morning, the feeling of hunger is a cue which prompts you to make breakfast. This routine is then rewarded by the nutritious, sweet-tasting smoothie that relieves your hunger. And that is the habit loop. So a habit is comprised of a cue, a routine, and a reward. Going back to the first example in the 60s of brushing your teeth, how did Claude Hopkins, the marketer in charge of selling toothpaste, manage to create a habit loop around oral hygiene? He had to come up with a trigger and a reward for the routine. For the trigger, Hopkins ran ad campaigns prompting people to run their tongue across their teeth in order to fill that nasty layer created by food residue. This was the cue that prompted the routine of brushing your teeth. Now, for the really interesting part, the reward was created by adding chemicals such as citric acid and doses of mint to give the toothpaste a fresh taste and to make it foam. These chemicals reward us with that cool tingling sensation on our gums and tongue despite not having any cleaning effect. That's right. Your toothpaste does not foam to clean your teeth better. The sole purpose of the foam and the minty taste is to reward your mouth with a pleasant sensation. This small trick is how Claude Hopkins elevated the number of Americans brushing their teeth from 7% to 65% and made himself $1 million in the process. So ask yourself, what routine do you want to create or modify, and what cues and rewards can you reinforce it with? Oh, and by the way, here's my favorite smoothie recipe. I buy bananas in bulk, I peel and freeze them before they go bad, but you definitely want them ripe to add the sweetness to the smoothie. Blueberries give you a daily dose of antioxidants and they provide slow-releasing sugar to keep you energized for longer. Finally, most plant-based proteins are comprised of hemp, rice, and yellow pea protein. These balance each other very well to provide the full profile of amino acids. Give it a try and make it a habit.
If you enjoyed this animation, please subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one. Let us know what habits you would like to change and what are your biggest obstacles. We love your feedback and we are constantly looking for ways to add value to our animations. Thank you for watching, and as always, thank you for your curiosity.